The Minnesota Wild Podcast is presented exclusively by Acrisure.
From the ponds to the pros, it's time for Beyond the Pond on The Fan. Here are your hosts, Pat Micheletti and Kevin Fallness.
Let's talk hockey! Did you really think we were going to let you escape a Saturday morning with zero hockey talk? Oh, not on my watch, my friends. Welcome to a Saturday morning on KFAN. My name is Kevin Fallness. No Pat Micheletti today. We've got a shortened show, so myself and Brett Blakemore will walk you up to the Gopher men's basketball pregame. They're on their home floor this morning, of all things. I don't know what Nico Medved is doing, scheduling Big Ten action when Beyond the Pond is supposed to be on the air, but I guess we'll give them a pass. They're going to tip off at around 11 o'clock. Mike Grimm will start with the pregame around 10:30. So until then, Brett and I are going to walk you up until they get the pregame started there in Dinkytown. Usually we talk a lot about the National Hockey League. We talk a lot of college hockey. Today we're just going to talk about the Minnesota Wild because, boy, what a run it's been. They go into the road trip missing 5 key guys, and yet somehow they figured out a way to pull themselves out of a tailspin. They were not good on their last homestand. They got 1 out of a possible 6 points and got blown out by both the New Jersey Devils and the Winnipeg Jets. They go to the road. They get 2 big wins. Ended up taking a gut punch in Montreal as they gave up the game winner with 15 seconds left to go in regulation. Still, 4 out of a possible 6 points on a trip out east against 3 teams that are playing very well. You're feeling good about yourself. But you got to get back on home ice and you got to carry it into the homestand. And the Wild did that. Now remember, the Wild had dropped 5 straight in St. Paul, dating back to all the way to December 23rd. They haven't won in St. Paul since before Christmas. What would happen on this night? Well, Thursday night they were home against the Detroit Red Wings, and what a hockey game. They trailed 1-0, 2-1, and 3-2. Matt Zuccarello, second of the game, tied it 6-11 of the third. Then we go to overtime. Wild have had a lot of overtimes. This would be the 8th time in 15 games, and for the 4th time of those 8 overtime games, they win again.
All by himself, will take it back out the center, roll to Kaprizov, who reattacks right through the slot. Kaprizov, a shot, he scores!
Some were worried. Kirill Kaprizov not scoring goals. What's going on? Well, he did have 7 points in the 3 games on the road trip, so he was helping out. It's not like he was just docile and not doing anything, but 2 goals on Thursday night, including his 13th career overtime game winner. Don't worry, Kirill Kaprizov is doing just fine. A 4-game point streak now, 10 points in the last 4 games, gets on the board and helps the Wild to a victory over the Detroit Red Wings. After the game, Joe O'Donnell caught up with number 97 down by the Wild locker room.
How you doing, my friend? How was that one?
Yeah, it was a good game. Especially he was down in third and come back, and it feels good to take this win in overtime. And yeah.
Tuesday was obviously a tough one, right? You give up the game winner with 15 seconds left. As a leader of this team, how do you quickly flush that one and get ready for another game?
Yeah, it was a tough one. Yeah, and then last seconds we give the goal and lose the game in 1 goal, but we almost come back in Montreal game. We have chance after face off and it don't go in, but we was happy to come back at homestand and play here in our fans.
Take us through the overtime winner. Quinn Hughes got hacked at by Dylan Larkin, lost his stick. Then you got dumped by Dylan Larkin, lost your stick. You look at the ref. 10 seconds later, you win the game. Just walk us through the shift.
What? Sorry?
Well, just take us through the play, the shift out there in overtime.
It's nice play by Queenie. We lose pucks, but we still have we lose sticks and then have puck, and a nice play by Queenie. He come back, give me, I just take speed and have chance for the shot and just try to shoot to the net. That's it.
You didn't have a goal your last 5 games. I know when you go through those stretches, it's certainly, you feel it, right? Because you want to contribute every way you can for this team. Coming to a game like tonight, what's your mindset knowing that, again, you're getting a little bit healthier but still missing some key guys and trying to shoulder that load?
Yeah, it's tough when you can't score, and especially when team lose, and when team won, it's fine, but when you can score so many games in a row, it's a little bit tough, especially for me. Like when try keep scoring more goals in every year, but I try to stay positive, and don't focus too much on how bad in goals, and just try to stay positive and keep going, keep shooting more in next game, and something go in probably.
Yeah, well, it felt like when that first one went in, your reaction was like, oh, that one's going to go in, right? Kirill Kaprizov joins us on the postgame show. The Wild beat the Red Wings 4-3 in overtime. Just two more questions for you, if you don't mind. Let's start with the power play. Without Boldy and without Eric Schneck for a while, it had a different look, and the coaching staff stays with that, with Tarasenko and Hartman out there, and power play kept rolling. What have you liked about this sort of new look top unit?
I feel we can play like that and like that. I feel we was in the road pretty good power play, and coaches probably want to stay us for the next couple of games and see how it's going. And it's guys play really good, and it's hard to play right in net front and Vladdy, and we can switch. Sometimes I'm there. It's sometimes it's a little bit easy when you have righty and lefty and more options, to the play, but. Yeah, it's feel good both ways, and Hideki and Bolts too, doesn't matter.
Well, a couple weeks back, Ryan Hartman told me it's not the first unit and the second unit, it's 1A and 1B, because he was part of that, the 1B, the second power play unit for a while there, Ryan Hartman. He was scoring on the power play, and certainly it's nice for the man advantage, no matter who's out there, to keep converting. Lastly, Florida Panthers come in here on Saturday. They've won the Cup back-to-back years. What's it like to go up against a team that's been there and done that?
Yeah, it's a good team. Everyone knows the guys won 2 years in a row, and but it's New Year, and we just be ready for everyone, and just keep playing our game like against other teams, and just play.
It's Hockey Day, Minnesota. It's a great celebration of the sport all across the state, the whole day. Has it been cold enough for you yet outside?
I don't think so. It was cool.
Yeah, where you're from, this is pretty standard.
Back home it was colder. A couple of weeks ago, I think a week ago maybe, It was so much colder. But I think tomorrow should be cold.
Yeah.
Have fun. I think who played tomorrow? Minnesota,
Iowa and Milwaukee.
Yeah, Iowa and Milwaukee. Have
You're
fun
check
too,
out.
guys. Yeah, it's really so cold.
Not for you.
Take hitters.
We'll let them know you send your regards. Thanks for doing this. Congrats on the overtime win.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's Kirill Kaprizov outside the Wild dressing room. Back to you, Kevin.
Yeah, I know you mentioned it a little bit in the broadcast, Joe, that some of the social media warriors a little worried about Kirill Kaprizov. I think he shut him up tonight.
Yeah, I think he did. And kudos, shout out our guy Pat Micheletti for going to battle with all those guys that had a lot to say. He's on pace for 45 goals or whatever it is. I think that was part of Pat Micheletti's point. And, I know he makes a lot of money. He will make even more money. The pressure will be on him. But you can just hear him. He's such an energizing player. He loves the game. He has so much passion, and he's a competitor. And when he's not performing, as you heard, it weighs on him. He knows he's just got to keep shooting the puck, and good things happen.
There you go. Joe O'Donnell in the postgame show with number 97, 4-game point streak for Kirill Kaprizov. On Thursday night, he had a pair of goals, including his 13th career overtime game winner. Big game for Quinn Hughes. 3-point night for him. His fourth game in a Wild uniform with 3 or more points. Now 22 assists and 24 points in 20 games since getting traded over from the Vancouver Canucks. Another star, Mats Zuccarello. He too has a 4-game point streak. His 41st career game with 3 points or more, and his 22nd game as a member of the Minnesota Wild with 3 or more points in a contest. That's the 5th most in franchise history. So all good stuff for the Wild as they get the victory, improve to 29, 14, and 9. They bust up a 5-game losing streak on home ice, still 13-3-4 at Grand Casino Arena since November 1st. And tip of the hat to Philip Gustafsson. He got the victory, 17th win of the season, 100th of his National Hockey League career, does so on 31 saves. He's now 10-1-2 in his last 13 starts. So that puts a cap on Thursday night as the Wild get a wonderful win to drop the puck on the homestand. They beat the Detroit Red Wings 4-3 in overtime. Now tonight, the nightcap for Hockey Day Minnesota. Wild taking on the Florida Panthers, and that should be a fun night as well. Matthew Tkachuk back in the lineup for them. Tonight will be just his third game of the season as he's trying to ramp things up for the Winter Olympics coming up next month in Milan. I'm sure we'll talk about that and more with Brett Blakemore's Breakaways. That's next. You're listening to a mini version of Beyond the Pond right here on The Fan.
Time.
All right, as mentioned, we got Gopher basketball coming up at the bottom of the hour, the pregame into the 11 o'clock tip. So before we turn it over to basketball and Mike Grimm, we got to do some hockey talk here on a Saturday morning, and that's what we're doing. No Beyond the Pond today. It would be just 30 minutes, and we're not going to make Pat Micheletti roll out of bed for that. And I know one person that's incredibly heartbroken, no Pat Micheletti this morning. It's Mr. Brett Blakemore. Good morning, sir.
You know, I thought maybe we could replace Pat Micheletti with Kevin Gork and see if we could get him on the show. I know he would love to chat with me. So, no, I'm very happy to be with you, and I love doing Beyond the Pond, one of my favorites.
The K-Train is definitely your number one fan.
Yeah.
He's got all your hits.
He loves me. He has all my albums. Yeah.
It's funny because the bile that he spews about you on the air is nothing compared to the text messages.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Especially when it comes to number 17. But you've had to eat some crow over the last week. They went out on the road, and they didn't have a lot of their big star talent. No Jules Eriksson, no Johansson. The entire second line wiped out. Kirill Kaprizov, all he did was supply assists. So they needed the depth scoring to step up. And look who led the charge. Marcus Foligno with his first career hat trick amongst like 4 or 5 goals on that trip.
Yeah, he played great. He had a bunch of really clutch redeflections in front, and he's causing traffic. I'm not even being sarcastic. He played great.
It sounds like it.
No, I'm actually not being sarcastic. He played fantastic. I've never called for his head or said for him to leave town. It's just sometimes I get annoyed. Like, for instance, last night against Detroit, or a couple nights ago, he takes a penalty. They immediately score on it. You know, it's just sometimes I think there's just he's not above criticism, but the thing that makes me laugh about it the most, though, and again, I love him. He's a great human being. I've never had the honor to fly on the team plane with him or anything like that. But the fact that, and it's always Pat, too. I love getting him going with his points, because he goes, that's not, Kevin Gork's, if he never scored a goal again, he'd still be valuable to the team. Well, that's fine, but then don't tweet me when he scores goals, because that would indicate that is meaningful of something. You know what I mean?
I just wish you had some passion on this subject.
Thank you.
My favorite part is to poke the bear on either side, whether it's you, Pat, or Gorg, and get you guys all fired up. It's just, and then just sit back and watch the carnage.
Yeah.
It's just phenomenal.
Barrero asked me off air, he's like, why is Fallness so mad at you? And it's like, it's not Fallness. He's the instigator that gets everyone to come after me.
Exactly. I love it. And my favorite part of having you on Beyond the Pond, it takes Micheletti's fire and brimstone and directs it towards someone other than me. So I can just sit back and just kind of try to direct the traffic, but you guys going back and forth, it makes my Saturday morning. And that's what I miss most about today, not being able to fan the flames here between you two.
I'll say, I think this year we've been relatively good.
Well, it's early.
Well, there's a lot of hockey left, but I think we've been relatively good this year. So.
All right, well, so no Pat Micheletti today, no Tony Scott, no Youth Hockey Hub, no Gopher Hockey. So let's do this. Since we can't do the regular Beyond the Pond, we got to bring back some of the all-time hits, and that includes Brett Blakemore's Breakaways.
It's time for Brett Blakemore's Breakaway.
Here's a break. Kaprizov in alone. Nobody going to catch him. Kaprizov scores!
And now, Blakemore's Breakaways.
Before you start, let me just get your thoughts on Thursday's game. The Wild return home, hadn't won on home ice since before Christmas, and it didn't look good. I mean, the entire time they're battling from behind. They're down 1-0, they're down 2-1, they're down 3-2, and then they finally tie it and win it in overtime in stunning fashion. That was a fun night, a cold but fun night in St. Paul.
Yeah, Godspeed to everyone that went to Grand Casino Arena, because that's a day where they could have charged $100 in the parking ramp, and I would have paid it. to not have to walk into Grand Casino Arena. Thank God they didn't. Thank God everyone was there and safe. My first breakaway would be this was the game, at least stat sheet wise. We've seen it kind of coming the last couple of games. That Kaprizov has a little bit more jump in his step, but actually scoring and putting the puck in the net, which is he joked about with Russo post game, your favorite blogger.
Yep, America's favorite blogger.
Yeah, that's correct. It just felt like that was the game we needed to see, even though we know how special Kaprizov is. It was nice to see him get on the score sheet twice.
Yeah, and on that road trip, he did not score, but he had 7 points in 3 games.
Exactly.
So, it's not like he's not helping out, but Kirill Kaprizov is here to score 40, maybe 50 goals. And, it weighed on him, whether he admits it or not. You can see the look in his face when he scored that first goal on Thursday night, that it meant something to get that monkey off his back. That's what he's here for. He's a special talent. He's meant to score goals. He's meant to carry this team offensively, and he did that Thursday night. Not only that goal, but the first goal, but the overtime winner. Of course, that's just a snipe. He put it right over the glove of Cam Talbot. A regular human shot, he probably makes that glove save, but he was handcuffed, had no chance. It was just a frozen rope right over his shoulder, and the Wild skate off with a victory. And for Kirill Kaprizov, career game-winning overtime goal number 13 of his NHL career.
His partner in crime, Matt Zuccarello, also 2 goals, 1 assist for 3 points. So both of them identical score sheets. Is there ever a point where Father Time will catch up to Zuccarello? Because I know he said he can't play forever. Yeah. But it just feels like we're not seeing it yet.
I think that's what he braced. He told Kaprizov, he says, I'm not going to be here forever, so you got to figure out what the next stage is. But they're really enjoying their time together right now. And to see those two continue to work, and you get Jules Eriksson back in the lineup last night, and Marcus Johansson. And of course, what Quinn Hughes is doing is on another level. 3 helpers again last night, Thursday night, 24 points in 20 games in a Wild uniform. It's borderline ridiculous. He's only been here a month, and already he's got 4 3-point games in a Wild sweater. It's incredible to watch.
I also think Ryan Hartman deserves a lot of credit being on that top line. He is a puck mover and a mover and a shaker and makes space for people. So no ripping of Ryan Hartman. And actually, he also drew a penalty as well. But I was looking at the penalty sheets. Yurov drew 2 of them. That kid is working hard. We like him on the Krem line, and we are not sure if we want to be him on the top line. I'm not going to sit here with pitchforks and torches to put him on the first line, but I do think he's working very hard.
Yeah, there's no doubt. It's a fun team to watch right now. And again, the Superstars didn't step up on the road trip necessarily. Again, they stepped up in different ways, but to see that depth scoring, you mentioned Hartman, I mentioned Foligno, we got to mention Vladimir Tarasenko. He's been reborn. I know that Father Time's catching up with him, much like you were talking about with Matt Zuccarello, but it's like back in time with Tarasenko over the last few games, watching him continue to work his magic, score on the power play, unload that wrister. It's been fun to watch this team go through the dog days of January.
My last breakaway for you is Quinn Hughes the best skater you've ever seen?
For me, yes. And I didn't have an appreciation for him when he was in Vancouver. Didn't watch a lot of Canucks hockey. I knew that he was a great player. And when he'd go up against the Wild, you have an appreciation for it. But seeing him now for a solid month in Minnesota, what he can do, it's like the old cliche is the puck is tied to his stick. I don't know how he does half the thing and how he creates half the things in his mind and then pulls it off. He's a special talent. It goes without saying, but my appreciation level for Quinn Hughes is tenfold compared to what it was before he landed here.
The amount of times that he would turn on a dime, and there was one play a couple nights ago where he left a Red Wing sliding away towards the Minnesota Wild goal as he just carried it through the neutral zone. It's a thing of beauty, and I don't think I've ever seen it to that level. Just watching it in person or on TV, it's still just, he makes play after play where you go, oh my God.
Yeah, it's sick, but in a really good way. I wish we had more time, but we got to get to Mike Grimm. You know how he hates to be left waiting there on the U of M campus. Brett, great to catch up with you. Look forward to having our full 2 hours next week at 10.
Can't wait, breakaways, and we actually got in all of my planned breakaways, and we agreed on every one of them. How about that? The Wild are a great team.
It's nice when there's a lot of positivity to talk about, and when the Wild come home and they get a nice victory over the Wings, that is definitely something to keep positive. So it was fun. Hopefully you're enjoying your Hockey Day Minnesota, and keep up with all the work on TV, but mute it, because, of course, you got Gopher basketball coming up now, and then later on tonight, the Wild will host the Florida Panthers, the two-time defending Stanley Cup champions. Wild on home ice. Pre-game at 7:45. Puck drops just after 8 o'clock to put the nightcap on Hockey Day Minnesota. Joe and Tom will be along for that. But for now, I say I miss you, Pat Micheletti. Thank you, Brett Blakemore. And thanks for listening to this abbreviated version of Beyond the Pond on The Fan. The best place to go for all your Minnesota Wild audio needs is the official Minnesota Wild podcast presented by Acrisure. Everything Minnesota Wild related, including highlights, press conferences, players, coaches, general managers, and more. It's available on the official Minnesota Wild podcast presented by Acrisure. It's all just a click away at wild.com/podcast.